Morning came in gray and stayed that way. Dale brought the coffee in the way she always did. 2 sugars I never asked for, and set it down without a word. That was the tell. When Dale's got nothing to say, she's got plenty.
Drink that before it goes cold. And before I tell you, because you'll want something in your hands, they pulled a body out from under the L this morning. Low tide. A kid found him going after bottles.
I get a body with my coffee most mornings, Dale. You're going to have to do better than under the L.
It was Frankie Slim. They made him off the dental work, what was left to make him off of. I figured you'd rather hear it from me than read it under somebody else's byline.
Frankie Slim. The cut wire from the wrong address. I never did get to read whether he came out of that owing me his life or aiming to collect for it. Now the ledger was closed and the question with it. Frankie heard things down by the docks before the coroner did. He never heard this one coming.
There's more, and it's the part that sat funny with me. No marks to speak of. No beating. No note pinned to him. Nobody made it loud. Clean. Quiet. Like somebody filing a paper they didn't want read.
And that was the wrong note. A small-timer like Frankie gets a beating to teach the street a lesson. A warning so the other rats stay loyal. A dunk in the harbor where the gulls finish the story. You don't spend a professional's quiet money on a nobody. Somebody important wanted Frankie gone the way you want a witness gone. And they wanted nobody asking who, which meant somebody just told me exactly how much a nobody was worth. I poured the coffee out and reached for my coat. The chop house out on Lassard kept a booth in the back where the light didn't reach and the waiters didn't remember faces. Flynn was already in it, hat off, 2 cups of coffee going cold, talking before I'd got my coat off my shoulders. The kid follows a story the way rain follows a gutter, downhill fast and into the dark.
Sit down, you'll want this and you'll want it quiet. The body they pulled this morning, I had it before the morgue did. No robbery, no struggle, no second story. One man close, fast, gone before the rain washed the step. That is not how the docs do business, and you know it.
The docs do business loud, Flynn. They like the whisper to outlive the corpse. So a quiet one bothers you.
It bothers me that nobody's whispering at all. I worked every name on that waterfront tonight. Nobody's claiming it, nobody's bragging it, nobody's even scared to talk about it. They just don't know. Marchetti's people don't know. That never happens. A killing in this town has an owner before it has a coroner's tag.
And if the family didn't order it?
Then it wasn't ordered through the family at all. Follow the money, and the money doesn't run sideways into the blue room this time. It runs straight up and off the top of the board. Somebody reached down past Pauly, past everybody you can name, and touched a nobody just to prove the arm was long enough. I've seen that hand answer before. It doesn't stop at 1.
I'd spent the morning telling myself a dead snitch was a small bill in a city that never stopped sending them. Flynn had just turned the bill over and shown me the other side. This one hadn't come up out of the gutter where the dying gets done. It had come down, from a floor so high even Marchetti rode the elevator up. And a hand that reaches that far down to swat a nobody isn't finished. It's just clearing its throat. The back office of the Blue Room was where Pauly Marchetti did his real talking, and in 10 years I'd never seen the man sit still in it. Pauly was a fountain, hands going, smile going, a story about his mother's gravy if you gave him the opening. Tonight the hands were flat on the desk and the smile was a thing he'd left in his other suit. He looked like a man counting a debt he hadn't run up.
Sit down. You came here about Frankie. I can see it on you. So we'll do you the courtesy, you and me, of not insulting each other. I didn't put Frankie in the ground. Nobody asked me, nobody told me. I found out the way you found out. Somebody else's mouth.
Frankie was your stool pigeon, Pauly. Your wire. A man doesn't clip another man's wire in this town without it being your business.
That's the whole point, detective. That's the disrespect. You want to understand something about how a thing like this is supposed to work. A man does not reach into another man's house and take what's his off the shelf. Friend or no friend. You knock, you ask. You say, Pauly, I got a problem with your guy. Can we talk? That's respect. That's how it stayed quiet for 20 years. And somebody just walked into my house and helped himself. and didn't leave so much as a note.
And there it was, the thing I'd come for without knowing it. For 10 years I'd treated Marchetti and the man above him as one animal, one shadow with two heads. Pauly carried the weight, and the weight stayed untouchable. But the man at the top had just reached past Pauly to do his own dirty work direct, and Pauly was sitting there doing the arithmetic on what that meant. The arithmetic came out the same for him as it did for me. Then say his name, Pauly. Whoever went over your head. You and I want the same door kicked in for once. Say it.
No, I don't say that name in my own room. Not to you, not to a priest. But I'll tell you this, and you can do with it what a man does with a gift. The line you thought ran straight from me to the top. That line's got a kink in it tonight that wasn't there yesterday. You go on home now. This one, I count myself.
So I went home. But I left understanding something the whole city was about to learn the hard way. The man at the top had been untouchable because the family stood between him and the rest of us, and tonight he'd stepped on the family to save himself a phone call. Marchetti wouldn't give me the name. He didn't have to. The cold coming off that desk told me the war I thought I'd been losing had just split into two wars, and neither one of them was going to stay quiet. The back room at the precinct smelled like burnt coffee and 20 years of bad news. Brogan kept it for the conversations that didn't go in a report. He had a folder on the table and a look on his face I'd only seen once before, the night they pulled a girl out of the bay and told him to forget her name. He didn't sit down. Men his age don't sit when the thing in front of them is finally moving.
20 years, Flynn. 20 years I've been fishing bodies out of that harbour. And every one of them runs the same direction. Nowhere. Into the mud, into the fog, into a file that gets thinner every time I open it. The family stands between the dead man and the hand that wanted him dead, and the trail just stops.
And this one?
This one's sloppy. Sloppy in the one way that ever mattered. It's got a direction. Pauly's not covering for him this time, you understand me? The family split, and the man at the top reached down and touched this kill with his own hand. For the first time since I put on the badge, I got a body that runs up.
He said it the way a man says a thing he's wanted his whole life and is afraid to want out loud. Then he closed the folder, and the look changed.
Now you sit there glad, and I'll tell you why you shouldn't be. The last man who knew this much, who could draw the line from the body to the top, that was Frankie. You remember Frankie? He's on a slab. A thread that runs up has got man standing next to it the whole way. And that man's name gets written down next. He reached down for a nobody, Flynn. You know why a man like that bothers with a nobody? Because somebody taught him it could be done. Somebody showed him you can burn a small man at a wrong address and win the round. You hearing me? He learned it. He's using it. And the next nobody he reaches for could be wearing your coat.
I heard him. I heard all of it. The thing I'd done to Frankie at the wrong door. The trick that saved a witness and cost a man his life. Handed back to me across a coffee-stained table as a method. My method. Brogan picked up his hat and left the folder where I could reach it. He'd given me the first true thread in 20 years and told me it might end with my name on it. In this city, that's not a warning. That's a price tag. And I've never met a thread I didn't pull. 2 a.m, and the rain was coming down like the city had something to confess. I heard the L go by, the way it always does when somebody's about to die under it, and then I heard the door. I never heard her cross the floor. She was just there, in the doorway, the way they always are. A woman I'd never seen, dressed for somebody else's funeral.
Don't get up, Detective. I'm not staying. I'm only the envelope. A man I'll never name asked me to carry something to you. And he pays beautifully for a short trip in the rain.
Then say your piece. I've got a bottle that's better company and it doesn't drip on my floor.
He sends his regards. And his thanks. He says you taught him something this season, and a man should always pay his tuition. He says you don't argue with a stool pigeon. You feed him a death, and you walk away while it's still warm. Your little friend who heard things down by the docks. He went under the L tonight. The man wanted you to know he learned that trick from watching you burn your own wire. He just used his own hand this time, He's better with his hands.
And the message ends how?
It doesn't end. He said you'd understand that part. He said the next name's already written, and the ink's the kind that doesn't dry. He said it's closer to you than the last one. Then he smiled. I never told you he smiled.
And then she was gone. The way the rain takes everything in this town. No trail, no nothing. I sat there doing the arithmetic. I never closed Frankie's debt, so the man closed it for me, with his own hand, under the L, and I'd never know which way Frankie had been reading me when the train came. The wire and the question, both buried in the same hole. I didn't win this one. I got here after it was paid for, by somebody else in full. But the man at the top had reached all the way down to do it, and a thing that reaches that far leaves a mark on the way. He'd spent Marchetti's cover to swing it, and a hand that shows itself can be caught. The city won the round. The reckoning didn't come. It just walked up close enough that I could feel its breath, and then it tipped its hat and waited.